Dr. Gwathmey has another equally important motivation for recruiting young scientists. At this year's American Heart Association conference, which drew over 30,000 participants, she was the only African-American woman presiding over a session. She wants to see that change.
Role models are terribly important, and Dr. Gwathmey is a superb role model in that connection, and she has been very active, starting at the place where one has to start, at high school, in recruiting and interesting individuals to come to her laboratory in the summer.
Dr. Gwathmey has trained 16 minority students, starting with high school students like 16-year-old Kim Key.
When I go into a hospital and I see a minority doctor or a researcher, I'm proud of them. I know how hard the struggle is to get up there, and it gives me a lot of hope and encouragement because if they can do it, I can do it too. I've worked in other labs before where I wasn't allowed to do very much, but in Dr. Gwathmey's lab, I was given the responsibility for a complete experiment. I learned a great deal, and I realized the full impact of it. Having worked in her lab, I'm convinced that I'm interested in pursuing a career in research.
Xavier University pre-med student Leslie Howell worked with Dr. Gwathmey this past summer and plans to continue her experiments at CBD this summer before going on to medical school.
I never expected to work with an African-American female at Harvard Medical School. Research is totally different than I expected. I thought it'd be boring. But working in Dr. Gwathmey's lab, I learned the discipline and the patience that it takes to do research, and it was a very educating and exciting experience.
Dr. Gwathmey recruits talent for her team from both inside and outside the scientific community. Mark Glass, a former combat medic, is Dr. Gwathmey's chief research assistant.
I've had jobs before, but nothing quite like this. She asked me if I would like to come work with her, and I said yes. And I've been here ever since, which is about 3 years now.
Dr. Gwathmey credits Mark with important discoveries at the lab. Not surprisingly, they came from questioning assumptions.
Mark simply would not accept a scientific belief that was assumed to be fact. When we looked at it, we found the assumption was not correct. So we developed a technique for comparing drugs and their effect on the heart. You know, that technique has become a gold standard in our laboratory. It's a very important discovery because it can totally change the idea of the treatment of heart failure.
It was work at CBD which produced the first indications that a variety of new pharmaceutical agents being readied for or already in clinical trial were potentially toxic to humans. Dr. Gwathmey believes that if more attention had been paid to the results coming out of CBD, millions of wasted drug development dollars might have been redirected to more productive ends.
I find myself turning away young people and strong investigators simply because of a lack of supplies, equipment, and money. This is very distressing. People have asked me, are you willing to put your money where your mouth is? The facts are that a lot of my research is funded from my own personal income. So yes, I'm committed. I have an excellent team, and I know they will do it.
The image that I get when I think of Dr. Gwathmey are those birthday candles that you can't blow out. Just when you think she's about to burn out, she lights back up again and starts something new. She has an enormous amount of energy, and that energy is contagious.